for
No
never.
matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
You know, I guess every series has this major giant reveal, this major lead up, this legendary transformation, so to speak, that the MC ultimately has to reach when it comes to a Shonen Jump battle series. In particular, I can name a few off the top of my head. For example, one of the biggest ones that I feel was very inspirational in general from top to bottom for this chapter, the Goku versus Frieza battle, where Goku goes Super Saiyan for the first time after experiencing the death of Krillin. Those are the forms that, you know, define each series. Super Saiyan for Dragon Ball Z, you got the QB Chakra form with Naruto, you had that hollow with, you know, Ichigo and everything in Bleach. Every series that is a shonen battle series with that type of motif goes through that, and Black Clover right now just ultimately went through its seemingly essentially Super Saiyan transformation with Asta and Liebe's completed or close to. I'm willing to bet that there's still more in the tuck, considering the fact that Lucifero is still throughout this entire battle not completed Devil Union form. Wow, man, wow. You know, it's kind of crazy the way people were reacting in this chapter. There is something to note about the transformation in general, but nevertheless, Asta has achieved something that is kind of crazy, because Nacht hasn't been able to reach the heights that Asta has in terms of, yo, he's really doing it up with Liebe with this seemingly completed Devil Union form. And again, it's wild, bro. This feels like final fight territory, end of series territory, with Asta conquering his demon. You know, we just had the conversation recently where Yuki Tabata, the author of Black Clover, in the weekly Shonen Jump author comments on one of my Forever News segments, which, by the way, in case you don't know, I do a segment called Forever News Monday through Friday. I give you all the updates on Black Clover, including updates on the new movie that's coming, everything in the world of anime and manga. You might want to subscribe and hit that bell to get all notifications so you can be notified. But just hopping back to it, this chapter in general of Black Clover really demonstrated, again, what feels like, I don't want to say the beginnings of the grand finale, but definitely this final form and the shock in everyone's face, the reaction, the bravado that Asta was exuding as he approached Lucifero, as he, I don't want to say looked down on him, but definitely looked at him as, at the very least, an equal, and kind of was even reprimanding the Devil King himself. It just feels very climactic and very epic all in one. Something that actually really was annoying to me, and I don't know where to place the blame, because it's a valid criticism, but dog, this was a 9-page chapter. And Black Clover has really set the bar of like, yo, dog, we could hand in like 3 pages and get away and shit like that. Like, if I was complaining about My Hero Academia's latest chapter having 13 pages, I'm absolutely going to say it when Black Clover is only doing 9. I personally would rather Yuki Tabata, if he's not ready, or if this is one of those issues where the chapters need to be a little bit shorter, which this is still way shorter. Like, we were averaging 15 pages. This is 6 pages less out of 15. That is over 1/3 of a normal sized chapter gone. It's like, you know, there's the argument of, hey, you can't really have, you know, a gripe about this. Yuki Tabata has been going through it, all these authors, and they're transitioning onto, you know, doing art digitally now. They're going through changes. We got the COVID protocol of how to write and draw with distance. Like, you know, they're going through a lot right now, and I absolutely understand. And in fact, I don't want them to rush and hurt themselves, injure themselves, stress themselves out. I want them to take their time, and that's where I introduce something that might not be popular for some people, but I gotta say it, is that I would rather have a completed full-length 15 to 20 page chapter. Personally, I would rather have full-on completed chapters. That's going to give me a better impression of the series. Come on, dog. 9 pages for a chapter? That's really, really short. So I just wanted to throw that rant in there real quick. Hopefully, within the next few weeks, we could get something a little bit more substantial in terms of the page count. And then I think we're on break next week as well, right? There's no chapters next week. Oh my god. Yeah, now that I think about it, the magazine came out early as well. So this probably was maybe like one of those golden weeks or something like that. But it's still wild, because because, yo, you're giving us 9 pages and taking a break, dog. Like, again, I'd rather you have taken the break as well and then came back after this break and the next break and all of that jazz, and then come back with a 20-page chapter, or even just the standard 15, 16 page. At the very least, it's a completed full-length chapter. So we'll put that rant there and continue. Because an angry Lucifero realizes that Asta is able to block his attack, and he's like, whatever, he still don't got magic, because Lucifero, again, remember, integral part of his character is the fact that he is angry and feels like they shouldn't even be coming up at him. It's just annoying. It's like a buzzing little fly or something, a bee. And then he proceeds to punch Asta in the face, which shout out Setsubata, because that page looked beautifully drawn with the punch. And Asta just looks at him like, yo, dog, what are you doing? Which is crazy that now the attacks aren't even effective. Like, what the hell is going on here? And Liebe goes on to explain, before it was that we were overlapping. Now we have fully merged, which I like that idea and that concept, right? It's fusion. Think about it. It's Asta and Liebe. What they're doing is a devil and human fusion, rather than, like, you know, the whole thing of, hey, if you mess up, you turn into fat or skinny, like what Gotenks and all of that stuff, which, again, that's probably something that inspired this, you know, fusion and whatnot. It takes it and does its own twist of it, and essentially it's really looking like this is their completed form. Then again, it gets more into, like, I don't want to say preachy, but just Asta talking down to Lucifero again, saying, all I know is I'm gonna beat you and I'm gonna live. And he proceeds to grab Lucifero's arm, and I swear to God, it reminded me of, like, when Goku grabbed Frieza's arm when he was, like, had enough and he was, like, Super Saiyan and there was nothing Frieza could do anymore to Goku. Like, that was the vibe that it gave me. And I know I make comparisons all the time, but hey, we talk about shonen manga and anime over here on this channel. Hello, that's the well that we pull from, and this is what this chapter reminded me of. A few chapters ago, it reminded me of the 4th grade Shinobi War. This here is reminding me straight up of when Goku finally achieved Super Saiyan and had enough of Frieza and was essentially bitching him around and saying, no, your ideologies are wrong, you're wrong, I'm gonna show you right now. And Asta is basically like bossing up. After this one, if he continues to even increase further than this, he's completely broken and he easily should be the Wizard King, because this is incredible, where Lucifero says it's essentially as if him touching me is shutting off my magic. We're seeing the effects of essentially Asta pissing off Lucifero, because now he's throwing haymaker punches and saying, like, you know, this is unbelievable and stuff like that. He is losing his calm composure that, remember when he started this thing, he was just like barely speaking, just, you know, one hit here and there. Now he's throwing haymakers and getting pissed off. Asta's the one to do that. And Asta again talking some more smack because Lucifero had called him ridiculous, and after all of that is said and done, Asta's unharmed and he says, nah fam, you ridiculous, dog. Like, yo, Asta, alright, I see you, dog. You like, I'm the Devil King now. Me, Asta, Devil Kingu desu. And he proceeds to cut off the horns that had knocked and Yami pinned into them. Which, by the way, I want to clarify something real quick. I made a mistake last week. Hey, I'm human. I had said last week that Lucifero used a spell that was actually knocked and Yami that had used that spell against Lucifero. So I made an error. Cool thing about it is that I got a lot of awesome people out there like you guys that will let me know, hey, for them, just want to clarify real quick. That's the way to go. And Noct and Yami realize what's going on with Asta, and Noct questions like, yo, is this a true devil union? Which right there, boom, again, just adds more, even when Yami's like, oh, I knew you were an interesting kid, and, you know, he's just so proud of him and shit like that. This is like if he reached the Super Saiyan form, but of devil unions. And I'm not even gonna lie, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I think that you could add Asta's transformation as being one of the best looking forms in all of shonen, anime, and manga. Think about it, right? Let's just compare for a second. The Super Saiyan transformation, obviously it was one of the most awesome transformations in the world. In comparison to Asta, yo, he turns into this giant black and red battery looking devil. Like, it looks crazy, dog. And then again, Naruto's was like this golden, gold and black, which I really loved Naruto's as well when he first went into the QB form. Ichigo's looked sick in and of itself, and a lot of that was due to, of course, as well, Kubo's art style. Freaking, he puts the pen to the fucking paper like a madman. Again, even though there was previous transformations to Asta's one right here, this is the one that they're mapping as like, oh shit, this is unbelievable. I wish that we were seeing this look right here exactly, for the first time completely right now. And what I mean by that is I wish we never had the previous form that looked similar but didn't have the scarf or whatever. I wish this was the first time we were seeing all of that wrapped up in this new look right now. Like Asta maybe had let's just say a devil tail or some big devil horns, but it wasn't completely what he looks like now, where visually I'm still looking at it like, oh, that's the look that we saw a couple weeks ago. Why are they so like, yo, whoa, he's a unicorn? And he says, go get him, Asta. 5 seconds are left. And he kicks Lucifero, and the chapter ends off there. Ultimately, it was a 9-page chapter, and I feel like Tabata could have done a little bit more here. But again, I think it was a short weekend jump, and then on top of that, Black Clover's been short anyways, and Tabata was like, yo, Horikoshi, My Hero Academia, how many pages? 13 pages? Hold my beer. But I'm curious what you guys think about this. For starters, how do you feel about Asta's final, completed, true Devil Union transformation versus Lucifero? Do you feel like it's going to feel rushed or feel like BS if next chapter Asta just completely defeats Lucifero, like manhandles him and it's the end of it? What do you think is happening with the Supreme Devil from the second order or the second level? Like, what's going on with him? And your overall thoughts and expectations for the Black Clover manga with chapter 328 and beyond. That's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'm from Neverworld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life. Bye. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and yo, Asta, true Devil Union form. I rocks with it. Have an awesome one.